For decades, the 4% rule has been the golden standard of retirement planning. The idea is simple. In your first year of retirement, you withdraw 4% of your total savings. Then, every year after that, you adjust for inflation. Financial planners loved it because the math supposedly guaranteed your money would last 30 years. But here is the problem. The 4% rule was built for a world that no longer exists. It was created in 1994 by a financial advisor named William Bengen. He studied historical market returns from 1926 to 1976. That was a different era. Bonds paid high interest rates. The stock market had long, steady growth periods. People retired at 65 and lived until 85.
Today, the picture is completely different. Bond yields are near historic lows. Market volatility has increased dramatically. People are retiring earlier and living much longer. Some retirees need their money to last 40 years or more. The original assumptions behind the 4% rule simply do not hold up anymore. Let me show you why this matters with real numbers. Imagine you retire with $1 million. Using the 4% rule, you would withdraw $40,000 in year one. That sounds reasonable. But what happens during a major market downturn in your first few years of retirement? This is called sequence of returns risk, and it can destroy your portfolio. Picture this scenario. You retire in a year when the market drops 20%. Your $1 million becomes $800,000. You still need your $40,000 to live on. Now you are withdrawing 5% of your remaining balance instead of 4%. The next year, the market drops another 15%. Your withdrawals are eating into your principal faster than the market can recover. Financial experts call this the danger zone. Studies show that experiencing negative returns in the first 5 years of retirement increases your chance of running out of money by over 60%. Here is what most people do not realize. The 4% rule actually fails about 10% of the time when tested against historical data. That means 1 in 10 retirees following this strategy would go broke. And that was based on the favorable conditions of the past. Going forward, some researchers estimate the safe withdrawal rate may be closer to 3% or even lower. So what should you do instead? The first strategy is called the dynamic withdrawal approach. Instead of a fixed 4%, you adjust your withdrawals based on how your portfolio performs. In good years, when the market is up, you can take a bit more. In bad years, you tighten your belt and withdraw less. Research from Morningstar shows this flexibility alone can increase your portfolio survival rate to over 95%. The second strategy is the bucket system. You divide your retirement savings into 3 buckets. Bucket 1 holds 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash. This is your spending money. Bucket 2 holds 5 to 7 years of expenses in bonds and conservative investments. Bucket 3 holds everything else in stocks for long-term growth. When the market crashes, you spend from buckets 1 and 2. You never sell stocks at a loss. This gives your stock portfolio time to recover while you still have money to live on. The third strategy is to create guaranteed income streams. Social Security is one, but you can delay claiming until age 70 to maximize your monthly benefit. The difference between claiming at 62 and 70 can be up to 77% more per month. That is enormous. You can also consider a small portion of your savings in a lifetime annuity. This creates a pension-like income that you cannot outlive. You do not need to put all your money into an annuity. Even 10 to 20% of your portfolio can provide a reliable floor of income. The fourth approach is part-time work in early retirement. This does not mean working a job you hate. It could be consulting in your field, turning a hobby into income, or freelancing a few hours a week. Research shows that retirees who work even 10 hours per week in their 60s reduce their portfolio withdrawal needs by 30 to 40%. That dramatically extends the life of your savings. Let me give you a real example of how these strategies work together. Meet Arthur. He retired at 60 with $800,000. Instead of blindly following the 4% rule, he keeps $20,000 in a savings account for his first year of expenses. He put $50,000 in a 3-year bond ladder. The rest stayed invested in a diversified stock and bond portfolio. When the market dipped 10% in his second year,
Arthur simply spent from his bond ladder instead of selling stocks. By year 4, the market had recovered and then some. Arthur's portfolio was actually larger than when he retired.
Now, compare Arthur to his neighbor Bob. Bob also had $800,000, but followed the traditional 4% rule. When the market dropped, Bob withdrew his $32,000 anyway. He had to sell stocks at a loss to cover expenses. By year 6, Bob's portfolio was down to $500,000. He was forced to cut his lifestyle dramatically and still worried about running out of money. The lesson is clear. Retirement planning is not about picking one magic number and hoping for the best. It requires flexibility, multiple income streams, and a system that adapts to market conditions. The 4% rule was a good starting point for a different era. Today, it is a recipe for anxiety and potential failure.
Take control of your retirement. Build a flexible withdrawal strategy. Create guaranteed income where you can. Keep some cash for downturns. And most importantly, adjust your plan as conditions change. Your retirement should be about enjoying life, not constantly worrying if your money will run out. The 4% rule may be dead, but your retirement does not have to be. With the right strategy, you can retire with confidence and keep your money working for you for as long as you need it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more retirement planning strategies. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us create more content like this. Disclaimer. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions.